is this? Tabletop Island, huh? Let's see what this is all about.
Welcome to Tabletop Island. I'm Bernardo, your host, and today we're going to be talking about how to take care of your games and allow them to last the test of time. There are a few different areas in which I talked about this on some of the vintage games, but I felt like there was more to talk about. One of the important ones, if you're a vintage board game collector, you have a lot of games that involve electronics, removing the batteries when you're not using them. There's too many times where there is a problem with electronics not working, especially for a lot of the vintage games, due to them leaving the batteries in and weather temperatures allowing the battery to corrode and making the electronic non-workable, non-usable, and almost impossible to fix, if not impossible to fix. I've gotten lucky once, I didn't get lucky after that. So I highly recommend, if you're having a game, again, especially one if it's very old, remove the battery when you're not using it. Very simple, sounds like common sense, but you'd be surprised. Removing a battery seems like a lot of work. You got to get a screwdriver, blah, blah, blah. I can just throw it in the box, put it away. I don't have to worry about it. It'll be ready next time I want to use it. That's a good mindset to have, but it will damage your game ultimately over time. So I highly recommend taking out any batteries that you have in any of your games. Very simple one. The second one, card games. Card games don't have batteries, but card games do get edge wear and can get bent, and they just get really nasty. And you can easily prevent this, or at least allow that to happen a lot slower. For me, just preventing it, because I don't play it 24/7 like Uno or something, I wouldn't recommend this for. But sleeving your cards. Again, I wouldn't recommend it for a game like Uno. You can pick it up all the time. That's not the kind of game I would put it in, especially because of the Uno I play, which I'll review eventually. Very much enjoy it. But games like Exploding Kittens, Unstable Unicorns, you'll kind of see these titles of me doing reviews for them over time. My DC deck building game, that's going to come out too, following in the future of the channel, and like Campy Creatures, things of that nature. For the purpose of the description, I'm going to use a game called Campy Creatures. Fantastic artwork. I don't want the artwork to get ruined, so I'm placing these sleeves on them. Now, there are many different kinds of sleeves to look into. For this specific one, I like clear sleeves because I do like the art design on the back, and each of the players have different colors on the back. So what I ended up doing was getting clear ones by Dragon Shields. Here's kind of a picture of what that box looks like. It says clear on it. It has a little fogginess on the back, but that doesn't bug me very much. These are solid sleeves. They are meant to last a long time. I have good rapport with Dragon Shield, so I'm a very big fan. Then for other games that I don't really care about the back design, such as DC deck building, I have what they call Ultra Pro. I do the regular, which is like a glossy look to it, but they also have the matte finish ones, which look just as good. And for camera purposes, it's a lot easier to capture on screen. But that's beside the point. Protecting your cards, very important. I've also tried here, it looks like these are the Fantasy Flight sleeves, which are clear. For me, they're a bit hard, so I do recommend kind of getting a feel for sleeves. I'm a very big fan of how Ultra Pros feel. But they don't last as long as something like a Dragon Shield. As for Fantasy Flight sleeves, they look really nice, and they are like a really nice clear to them. But for me, they're a little bit too hard for some of the games that I have them applied to, such as like Unstable Unicorns. The stack gets really tall, and it's kind of tricky to shuffle them, and it can kind of hurt your fingers a little bit because the edges are a bit sharp. So there's a few things to look into if you do plan on getting sleeves. If you don't care about the back design, I do recommend Ultra Pro. If you want clear sleeves that will hold up really well, they are a little bit on the pricier side, but you do get 100 in the box, so it kind of evens out in comparison to some of the other sleeves. But that would be Dragon Shield Clear if you like that back design, or just looking for clear sleeves in any local brands that you find at like your local game shop, or online if you're feeling a little brave. But that is the main thing here. Removing the battery, adding sleeves, those are one of a few things that you can do here. I'm not telling you to go polish your game. I'm not telling you to get a washcloth and wipe games that can get messy. I'm just telling you simple things that will allow you to have games last a little bit longer. Like games like Campy Creatures, I don't want the edges to get worn out. I think the cards look beautiful, and I don't want to have to keep purchasing that game because someone damaged my cards. So these are ways to allow these games to last a lot longer. And honestly, I do it with all the games that I own. If I haven't done it, it's probably because it's not the kind of game I would do that with. An example, Cards Against Humanity. I don't own that game. I have a million other friends that own the game, but I wouldn't sleeve that game because there are so many cards. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is a lot of cards that I have to sleeve, and the game is a party game, so whether it gets a little bit of wear or whatever, it doesn't get too damaged because you're not really handling them as a part of the game. Like for me, Super Fight has the same card size. I wouldn't sleeve those because of how the cards are handled. If the cards are never really touched, it may not make sense to sleeve them. But in most cases for me, especially if I appreciate the artwork, I will be sleeving them, and I highly recommend you doing the same. But those are 2 easy ways to allow your games to last longer. That is actually all I have for you guys today. If you want notifications for my new videos, you can hit the bell up there somewhere. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to make these videos more and more outrageous, and with your guys' help, I have been doing so. Thank you so much for all the feedback and positive attitude I've been thrown my way. I do appreciate it. Monday, regular board game reviews. Wednesday, weekly update/talks. Friday, vintage board game reviews. That is all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys next time.